not to make this about me, but it kind of always is. Oh my God. Are you mad at me? Delicious. This is my first time having a Coke Zero.
Oh, I didn't realize that's what it was.
Keep that in, Kelsey. Wow. Where do we even start? First of all, I want to say I know that my legs are ashy. I'm not putting lotion on right now because, I don't know, I already sat in this seat, and whenever I do that, it's just like a whole thing. Then I have to get back up, and then maybe some of you guys are like, your legs shouldn't have been ashy in the first place, but here we are. This is being myself. So what I'm about to say actually has nothing to do with the episode. Actually, I guess it kind of does. I have a date tonight. This is my first date with someone having a podcast. So do they know I have a podcast? Do they give a fuck? Probably not. But there's like some drama happening right now that I feel like right now I'm doing something really bad. I do feel like overall my brand is like, silly, I'm outside. Haha, let's go have a silly little drunk cigarette. Let's make out with someone at a bar. Woo! But I haven't really been in my silly Sierra era for the past like maybe year and a half. Honestly, Brat Summer like really wrecked me. I mean, I'm still trying to bounce back from the damage that Brat Summer did. Not saying I'm in my clean girl aesthetic by any means, but I really haven't been dating much. Honestly, I think it's because I have been like, I don't want to say locked into my career, but I have been very busy. There have been days where like literally I'm waking up, I'm going to work, after work I'm going to a Dodgers game, and then after the Dodgers game I'm watching podcast episodes. Like I've just been locked in, just like I am with dating and career and all the things. I guess you could say I'm a bit of an obsessive person. And you know, if you think that's a good thing or a bad thing, these things are relative at the end of the day. But I guess in a weird fucked up way that does kind of bring me to my point. The fact that I have a date means that there is some balance happening in my life that I haven't really had in a while. And look at me, segue. No, I'm locked in with you guys today. I'm actually not. I've been feeling really kooky lately because I haven't been on my ADD meds. Kelsey, I know you're somewhere in a dark room editing this, praying that you can get through it, and I'm really sorry. So yeah, I feel like there is a little bit of balance that's coming back into my life. This time, like a year and a half, 2 years ago, I was like super, super social. Then I got into like a really serious work state. And now I'm going on a date. So that means things are coming full circle. I guess we'll get into balance in a little bit. Today, what I really want to talk about, really insane roundabout way to get here, but we got here in some way. Career in general is something that I've always struggled with, right? Like, both my parents are Olympians. Kelsey, how many times on this podcast have I said it? Like, clearly I'm riding that fucking horse into the night. And both of them were so passionate about their jobs. Both of them were dreamers. Both of them had jobs that really defined their identity in a way that I don't think is necessarily bad. It kind of had to in order to be that successful. So growing up, I always had that instilled in me as well. I loved the idea of a dream job. I love the idea of just like having this purpose. And it wasn't even something that like I was like craving or seeking. It just like was something that I was always around, and it just made sense to have like this goal or this passion that consumed you. I've always loved the idea of like passion pays the bills, like just whatever that means. It's so fun. I used to always say passion pays the bills. Like I didn't even have bills to pay when I was saying that. Like I was like happy to get mail at that point in my life. And now I get mail and I fucking crash out. But anyways, it's usually a parking ticket or something that I didn't pay. Today, actually, I walked to my car and I was so happy there wasn't a parking ticket because I did go to an event on Friday and I was planning on driving to it. If my parents are watching this, I did lie. I did use your card. And that's how I Ubered to Playa Vista from where I live. Hi. For those of you guys at home that are like, what the fuck is going on? Kelsey, clip that. Kelsey just walked into the room. Kelsey walked to the room and I just lit up. And I'm not going to show y'all what she looks like. We're keeping it a mystery. Same with Paul, even though you can find him on my Instagram somewhere, I'm sure. Kelsey, this is a mess. You're going to have to help me. Okay. I don't know why, and I need to stop calling myself a crash out because, like, I actually am a pretty reasonable person. Like, I'm well medicated. Like, I'm a safe citizen of society most days. But for some reason, so many people have been wanting career advice from me. So that really is what a bulk of this episode is going to be about. Like, the next time a bitch asks me to go get a coffee, I'm sending her this link. Like, this is just all the thoughts that I have about career, corporate America, pursuing your dreams, all of the things in between, and talking about some of the things I've learned, some of the things that have helped me find balance, and some of the things that have gotten me here in this chair today. Talking to you divas. I just want to like do a brain dump, if that's okay. I remember when I was younger, I don't know what it was. You guys know I'm fucking obsessed with Tyra Banks. Like, that is my dream guest. I would stay up in the wee hours of the night and watch the Tyra Banks show. I did the same with like Chelsea Handler with Chelsea Lately. Also, some of those like weird sex shows on HBO. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you probably had a good childhood. I actually did have a good childhood. I just was a curious kitten. So I saw, does anyone know what I'm talking about? I hate that like there's someone in their car listening right now and they're like, what fucking weird late night HBO sex shows? Like, she's a freak. But there's someone else in their car that knows exactly what I'm talking about. And to that person, thank you. I can feel you in the room with me like a warm fucking hug. Okay, anyway, so I used to always stay up and watch the Tyra show and I was obsessed with her. And I remember I always said I wanted to be a talk show host. That's like, I don't know, that was always a dream. And I remember one time I was talking to my mom and she was like, okay, I know you want to be a talk show host, but like, what exactly does that mean? Like, what field is that in? And I was like in elementary school. So I was like, what field? Like, what industry? I'm like, you're speaking Japanese. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Is that bad to say? That's fine to say. People can speak Japanese. I don't know Japanese. That's why, Kelsey, cut that. Honestly, leave it. I'm feeling crazy. I love how this is an episode about career and I'm like, woo, crash out. Like, I could have worn a blazer, but this is what you fucking get. Anyways, okay, back to the story. My mom was like, yeah, like, I don't know. Would you maybe before that job want to be a sideline reporter? Or like, she was just saying all this shit like in front of a camera with a microphone. And I was like, no, none of that sounds good. And eventually I started to like understand what she was saying. I was like, do you feel like the thing I'm telling you I want to do is like too specific? And she was like, yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. What other thing could even get you to be a talk show host? And I was like wrapping my head around it. And I was like, so I feel like you're saying, oh wait, I just burped. This is my first time having Coke Zero. Coke is bad. Well, Coca-Cola. We need to cut this episode. This can't go anywhere. Burn the footage. Kelsey. I was like slowly starting to get what she was saying. And I was like, so basically what you're saying is like, I'm telling you, I don't want to be in the NBA. I want to be the point guard for the Lakers. First of all, Sandra, the fact that you were making me like break down my dream job like this in elementary school, considering you're an Olympian, like, cut me some slack, but whatever. I clearly have content, so it worked out. She was like, yes, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's so specific. And I looked at her in elementary school and I said, well, I want to be the fucking point guard of the Lakers. And she said, whoa, let's give this bitch a fucking thing of soap and put it in her mouth. No, I'm kidding. She actually didn't say that, but she like really got it. She understood that like what I was saying I wanted to do, I was really passionate about, and that was exactly what I wanted to do. And I've always loved that story because I remember when I got my first on camera hosting gig, I remember when I got like my first producer title and all these things that were so exciting, I always was like, oh my God, like the younger version of myself would be so proud of me. Like, we're doing it, we're making it. But then one time someone said something to me, this might fuck some of y'all up. I don't know. I love how I'm like setting you up for something deep and like you're going to hear it and be like, okay, I've heard that before. But one time someone was like, would you ever take advice from like the younger version of yourself? Which, you know, maybe I would if the advice was like, believe in yourself, you're gonna get through it. Like, I don't know. But this person was like, imagine like legitimately taking financial, dating, or career advice from like the elementary school version of yourself. And elementary school, definitely not that version of me. But I remember when I got like one of my first production jobs and I was so proud of myself for negotiating an extra like 25 cents. I remember another time I got a job and I was so proud of myself because I said a number that I thought was outrageous. I think the number was like 50K. This was pre-COVID, so that was doing a little something. And I remember like rushing home to my parents and being like, you guys, like, I got the job. I'm going to be making 50K. And I got the offer and they offered me 57K. And my mom and dad were like, Sierra, let this be a learning lesson. If you ever ask for an amount and someone gives you more, you did something wrong. So would I take advice from my younger self? Fuck no. Would I take advice from myself? No. What are you guys doing here? What the fuck are we all doing here? No, I'm crashing out. This episode should have been like how to be silly vibes, like not something professional. Fuck, Kelsey cut that part. The reason why we were having this conversation was because we were talking about it in the context of how like when we're younger, we can be so bogged down by like something that we just decide is who we are or who we want to be. And in reality, sometimes it actually holds you back from becoming who you really could become and being who you really could be. Does this make sense what I'm saying? On the other end of that, like, would be so fucking cool to have my own talk show, and I still would love to do that. But like, truly what I really care about is like connecting with people. I care about storytelling. I care about like giving people voices that typically wouldn't be able to find them on their own. And there are a lot of things that could probably get me to fulfill all of those and so much more that aren't literally having a talk show. Are we following? Do we see I'm getting somewhere with this? All of the context of how I was raised and my personality and, you know, how my brain is wired and operates. It's so funny. Like, I'm in a place now where I'm like, what the fuck even is a dream job? Like, who even cares? I used to always hear about people who would be like, I want to go to work and I don't want my work to be at all aligned with my passion, and I want to be able to do my passions if I even have any outside of work, and I don't want my job to be that. And I thought it was like so crazy. And now I'm just like in a point in my life where having balance is so important. And that doesn't only mean like work-life balance. It also means like I'm a creative. I don't know who here is listening and who else here is a creative, but like, it's okay if my job is not my dream job and it still fills up my cup so I can pursue other things outside of my job. I love how every episode I come in here and I just say, nothing matters. Nothing is real. That's what I should have named the podcast. Nothing is real. A lot of my career, I have had to be creative in very corporate settings. Like, God, I mean, life is so weird. It's like, whether it's dating or friendships, like people are always like, be the most authentic version of yourself. Like, being the authentic version of yourself is going to make sure that you find the right people and connect with the right people. But for some reason, that same logic like does not apply in the corporate space. Well, not for some reason. We know why it doesn't. But in my experience, being the most authentic version of myself is what makes me good at being a creative. And it's also what makes me be relatable and relate to other people in corporate settings. I don't want this to feel like I'm bitching about corporate America, because that's really not my intention. Like, even though I said that, let me say this. If you are listening to this and you're at a desk right now, or you're in the car and you're on your way to work, you're listening to us on the radio, you're listening to me on the radio. I haven't used that joke in a while. I need to bring that back. And you look at your boss and you say, wow, where he or she is, I do not want to be there in 10 years. You are in the wrong place. If you are in a place in your life where you're really trying to work up the corporate ladder and you're looking at your boss and you're saying that, you gotta fucking run. But on the other end, if you have balance and maybe that isn't the direction that you're going, maybe you're fine. I don't know what I'm doing. It's tough because it's like, you want to stand out, like that's how you get a promotion, and you know, you want to be unique and different, a forward thinker, but also like you don't want to stand out too much and be like a disruptor. It's tough to navigate, or at least for me, it's been something that's been tough for me to navigate, because in so many other spaces, people, mainly my parents, have affirmed me that the version of myself is enough and I have so much to offer. And then you go into these corporate spaces and it's like the game is to kind of like pull, like to strip as much of your personality while also like showing as much of your personality. Like, it's just such a hard thing to navigate, and like I still struggle with it, honestly. It's hard, especially being like a woman of color. Like, the amount of times I've like gone into spaces and it's like all men that don't look like me or all women that don't look like me. And don't even get me started if it's like I have to take my extensions out or I have a braid appointment the next day. That's a whole other episode that we can get into, and I'm not doing it today. But especially being a creative, navigating those spaces is so tough. Which I feel like everyone struggle. Like, it's not even like I'm a black sexually confused. I love how I always say that. Like, just say you're bi, bitch. Like, I'm a black woman, and straight white men deal with that too. Just like corporate spaces in general they're just like hard to navigate and they're tricky. So please know I'm not doing it perfectly every day. I mean, I just showed someone my medical charts and she's more senior than me. And someone said, I think that's a HIPAA violation. And I said, it's actually not. Why do I know that? Because I've done it before in a corporate space. We might have to cut that. So, okay, let's get into the fucking meat and potatoes of it. I'm not letting this like shiny title of a dream job hold me back from other opportunities. Is really the point that I'm trying to make. Which kind of brings me into Cheryl Mullingbayan. Shout out Cheryl. I love you so much. She was one of my bosses and one of the most creative people that I ever met. I think I was like bitching to her about like, oh my God, at my next place, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And I'm not going to let them say this and that to me and whatever. And she said something I will never forget. She was like, Sierra, when you go to your new job, it's the same thing as dating. See, look at me. This episode applies to so many people and so many things. She was like, Sierra, when you go to your next job, you cannot take the trauma from your past job to your new job. And what does that mean exactly? I mean, it's pretty obvious, but we're going to get into it. Basically, what she meant by that was like, you're going to go to a new job and they're going to have some other fucked up shit that you're going to have to be worrying about. And if you have fucked up shit from your last job and you're taking it to your new job, you're screwed. I did post on my Instagram for you guys to send me some like career questions. This is going to be a bit more of like a conversation. I'm not going to like answer these as black and white as I typically would because I just feel like there's a lot of nuance here that I do want to get into. Literally, one of the questions that came in for this episode, someone was like, can you give me advice on like if I want to change my career path? And like, I don't know. I think it's so funny, and I'm not trying to like talk down to this person. I hope you're not listening and like I think you're silly and stupid and dumb because that's not what I'm saying. But like, whenever people say that, I'm like, you're really telling me you haven't learned one thing in the past, even if it's 1 year or 10 years in the field that you're currently in that you can't apply to anything else. Like, if that is the case, you are doing something wrong and has nothing to do with the job. Like, that's just like a fucked up vibe thing on your end. Like, I don't know if it's a society thing. We're so conditioned to just like think so narrow-mindedly. I think if you're thinking about changing anything in your life, like it's worth exploring it. Like whether that's relationship, financial situation. I feel like those are like the three that I keep saying, like finance, finances, relationship, career, or even family or whatever. Like, I don't know why with career, it's like this different bucket where like, if someone's not happy, it's like, I'm just stuck. Like, you're not. You have free will. You're not stuck. And anyone that makes you feel that way is silly, cuckoo, loco pants. If this gets a little chaotic, I'm sorry. I'm trying to hit so many things, and maybe if there's like certain parts that you guys really like, let me know and I can like focus on one of them. But I guess a lot of this is mainly skewed like more so towards like creatives, creators, whatever. If you are working in entertainment, you have to be aware that there are going to be lulls. Like that is just part of it. I remember when I had a therapist, need to find a new one, I was talking to her about how frustrated I was about this lull that I was in, and I felt like I had prepared myself as much as I could to not be in the situation. And she was like, well, the industry is not changing, so you have to. You know what I mean? Like, it is always going to be turbulent and inconsistent. And I think that a lot of times, like, comparison is the thief of joy. If you're in a bad spot, get the fuck off of LinkedIn. Maybe delete some of those little social media sites, because it's so easy to see other people are doing things and to compare and to think that you're doing all the wrong things. Now I'm really going on a rant here. Like, it's not even just career. Life in general, everything cannot be going amazing and perfect at the same time. Well, I mean, I guess it could, but that is very, very rare. And that's also just not how life works, which is okay. Like, you know, I've had times where like, God, I was so fucking broke, but like the relationship I had with like my parents or my brother, or creatively, I was feeling very fulfilled. And there was times that, you know, I was making the most money I've ever made, but like I was really toxic. Just so many fucking things. It's very rare that everything is going well and perfect at the same time. And so, especially when it comes to career, that's one of those things that's like, you always have to have a job. The expectations that you're always working and that you're always kind of like financially you have things figured out. But That's not always the case. And I think just like be very careful of comparing yourself to people where like you don't even know what the fuck else is going on in their life. Like maybe they have their fucking dream job, but like, whoa, the grass is not greener when you're looking at, I don't know, family, mental health, whatever. Now I feel like this is like getting kind of nasty, but all I'm saying is like, I don't know, be careful of that. And trust me, I've had seasons. I've had serious seasons of unemployment. So if you're in one of those places and like you're just chronically applying, like you just got to tough through it. Like it's going to get better. Just like literally everything else, it's going to get better. It sucks, but you got to do it. You got to fucking tweak the resume. Every time you apply to a job, go to the job listing, look for some of those keywords in the listing, add it to your resume, tweak your cover letter. I know it's a bitch, but you got to do it. Someone asked this question too about like just applying and how much it sucks and all of that. Like if you're just applying and you're not reaching out to recruiters, you're not doing enough, babe. You got to do more. You got to reach out to recruiters, people that work there. We're in a recession, aren't we? You got to be hungry. You got to be active. Another thing someone asked was like, knowing when to follow up. Like if you send an email to someone and you whatever the fuck, you know what a follow-up is. I'm like clearly, I love how earlier I was crashing out because I had a sip of Coca-Cola and now I'm like, ugh, you guys get it, follow up. Anyways, I'm an anxiety girly and I thought this was very funny because I'm giving advice and I'm like, I need to be listening to my own advice. Like, I just want to make it very clear. I still struggle with things like this too. When it comes to following up, and I think this applies to a lot of other things too, we got to be fucking real with ourselves. Like, are you being annoying or not? Like, be honest with yourself. Are you actually being annoying? I feel like we like use that word so casually of like, oh my God, I'm annoying, I'm a burden or whatever. But like, if someone's like, hey, I'm going to do this thing and they don't, and 3 weeks have passed, follow up. If it literally was yesterday and they said, give me a couple weeks, don't follow up. Give them a couple weeks. Like I overthought that so much whenever I was younger. For the most part, especially someone like me, like I always forget everything. I love when people follow up because I am not thinking about anyone else. I'm so locked into my own fucking world. Like I would say 95% of the time it's worth a follow up and people will like to see that you actually care. But I will tell you this, one time a therapist told me something that was so helpful. And if you have anxiety, if you're sending an email, like end it with a question or end it with like something that can give you something tangible so you don't crash out. So for example, let's say you meet someone at a coffee shop. They're talking about maybe giving you a job. They say to email them. When you email them, don't just be like, hey, loved meeting you. Here's my resume. Give them something tangible. Be like, hey, loved meeting you. Like, when would be a good time to follow up? That's a little bold or a little crazy. Or like, what's your timeline? Like, what do you think this person's timeline is? I think like sometimes we forget, especially in LA, especially in entertainment, people love to feel special. People love to feel like they're doing someone a favor. People love to be like, oh my God, you're looking for a job? I know this girl. She would be great. People are so schmoozy here. I think we forget that a lot of times people want to help. And I'm not going to bullshit you and say it's because like they're good people out of the goodness of their heart. But I think like it just in a weird fucked up way just like makes them look better. This is so preachy. Like I feel like the episode I'm making right now is something like where I am today in my 30s, my mom would send to me and be like, good advice. And it's just like the most like generic fucking bullshit. Maybe it's not generic. I don't know. I will say this is such a cliche quote. And I know I'm like quoting a bunch of like silly things, but if you're in that place of comparison, I really don't believe that there is much luck. It really is like hard work meeting opportunity, which I know it's so cliche, but if you're grinding and you have a portfolio or a website or a reel or whatever, like, you know, I think the thing that does really set people aside is like when you meet that one person that could change your life, do you already have your shit together? Are you going home and like manically updating all of your assets or like do you already have them done? You know what I mean? Like it's just the little things. It's the little things. And a lot of times I'll meet with people, especially young people, and they'll be like, well, how did you get this? Or I wanted to do this one thing and I didn't get this job and now I feel like my life is over and now I feel like I don't know what to do with my career. I don't know how I'm going to get back on track. Like I cannot be more clear when I say this. The opportunities that felt the most random at the time are oddly the opportunities that have really given me the skills to be where I am professionally today. I feel like I'm like putting myself on this high horse. Like I think I'm like this amazing, successful professional person. That's really not at all the vibe I'm trying to give. But like I just really am trying to provide some context here. With my faith and just like cosmically how I see the world, like everything happens for a reason. You know, you can't ever make a decision that's actually the wrong decision. Like you make a decision and the universe or God or whatever the fuck you believe in just kind of like forms around it and keeps moving. I can't remember. I think on the Annie episode I talked about this, like especially in entertainment. I know I keep saying in entertainment or for creatives, but like I do think a lot of this applies to other people. Getting a no is like a blessing. And I know it sounds really cliche, but like I remember there were years I didn't even have a manager or an agent or the email to apply to be an assistant somewhere to even get a no. Like if you're in a place where you're getting a no, you're probably doing some of the things right that you really should be doing. But, you know, they still suck. So as you crash out over that, I'm still here to hold your hand. I don't know. Like I feel like it's all about perspective, and it's really hard to like stomach that whenever you're in a place where you're not the most fulfilled or the most happy or maybe proud of who you are. But like this is so fucking cliche. A no is just redirection. Like I don't know, I'm just so in a place in my life where like if it's a person that I like, a friend or a relationship or a job, and they don't want me there, I'm like, okay, why would I want to be there either? Like here I go on like my self-righteous like woo-woo shit. I feel so fulfilled right now in career, but also with like friends and other people in my life. Like if the universe or God is telling me I don't need to be in a space, like, okay, next. I do want to do an episode at some point on like fear of failure, fear of rejection, because it's like something that I'm very proud of where I'm at with it, but I still struggle navigating. I don't know. I just feel like, well, first of all, when I think about when I get my Emmys and, you know, all of those things for the silly little shows that I make, maybe an Oscar, who knows? Maybe I'll start dabbling into some of that. It's so cliche, and I know I keep saying it's so cliche, but like so many of like the people that have given me no's are like the people that I can't wait to prove wrong. And I know I want to like make myself happy and make myself proud, but it really is just redirection. I think especially as you get older and you just get more and more validated by people who see your worth and see your value, it just, I don't know, the no's just hurt a little less, because it's like, okay, like you're wrong, but like, okay, cool. As Taylor Swift once said, your time is a luxury item and not everyone can afford it. Thank you. We had off-camera assistance from that. Today, actually, someone was like, you're so sick because publicly you're like such a Swiftie, and like behind closed doors, you aren't. Bleep that, Kelsey. It's my bleep that too. I support women, even white women. I support women. Look at, I'm in a room with 2 white women now. I love them. I love them. Wait, no, in all seriousness, the Taylor Swift of it all, this has nothing. Actually, this does kind of have to do with career. There's just no world where I'm like shitting on a woman who like clearly is successful. And I'm not getting into the whole like comparison game of like Beyonce and other people and talent. Like the girl is a fucking like entrepreneurial machine. You just like can't deny it. Who's calling me? My dad. He's calling about the Uber that I mentioned earlier. Ignoring that. And I'm on Do Not Disturb. He called twice, so he's gonna know. Even if you don't think she is an amazing singer, she's a talent when it comes to being a businesswoman. I mean, do you see how many fucking vinyls this girl has coming out? That coupled with the fact that I mean, her music got me through formative times of my life. I grew up in predominantly white environments. I love that bitch. Speak Now is a skipless album, and I'll say that till my grave. Nicole and Keith broke up. Urban? Kidman? See, look at that. Anything can change. Think about how scared those people probably were to break up. All right, so this was like such a fucking clustered dump. I hate that. Why did I say that? I need my medication. Stat. These solo episodes are like not good for me. I feel like I'm alone with my thoughts, but there's a fucking camera. Bad news bears. Not good. I'll leave you guys with this. Just give yourself grace. Like, anything that is paying your rent is gonna, how do you not have resentment against it? I mean, you're doing just fine. What did Taylor say? You're on your own, kid. Literally the opposite of what I just said. I love you guys. And if you're looking for a new job, this is me manifesting, sending good vibes that it comes your way. If you're looking for a promotion, manifesting. I'm manifesting for you, divas. If you're like me and you're like, I just don't want to work. See, I can't fucking be myself as long as I have a job. Because, like, do you want the real fucking tea? Who wants to work? Who wants to work? No one. And that's okay. We need to be having that conversation. If you didn't have to work to pay your bills, none of us would be doing this shit. I have a date to get to with a man named Kelsey. Please bleep that and clip it. Kidding. I will see you next week. Bye, hotties. I love you. We're all fucking corporate working baddies. Buy a fucking blazer this weekend. Who cares? Maybe a mechanical pencil. Get a little portfolio, diva. Woo! Girl bossing is back. Sierra said it. Sierra Berg, Girl Bosses of America 2026. Bye. I'm not okay.